Hey guys, in this video I want to show you the best way to quickly improve your speaking skills. And this video is mainly tailored to guys, but it also applies for girls. So when I started learning Spanish, as I've talked about in other videos, I first started learning passively. But then when it came to the transition to actively work on my active Spanish skills, what I did was the following. I was thinking, how can I get in a lot of speaking practice while being super engaged in the conversation and while having conversation topics that are not that difficult. And what I came up with was actually going on a lot of dates. And this helped me tremendously in quickly improving my Spanish skills. And I'm gonna explain a little bit how and why that worked. So, if you put yourself into the shoes of being on a date with someone that you find attractive, what happens? Well, naturally, you're gonna be a lot more present in the moment. You're gonna be a lot more engaged, of course, because you find the other person attractive and you like the other person, and you want to present yourself in an according way. So, what happens is your brain is gonna be a lot more focused. And this is something that I also utilize for language learning, right? Because, well, if I'm already there, if I'm already more focused, and I'm definitely going to be a lot more focused on a date than I'm going to be in some language learning class, then why not actually use this as working on my Spanish and not talking one single word in English? And this is specifically what I did. And at the same time, this works great not only because you're a lot more present and you're a lot more engaged in the conversation, which then naturally will just help you for the learning mechanism of your brain, and you're gonna make a lot more progress. It also works because at the same time, the topics on a date are typically not very complex, right? You talk about rather mundane things about what you're doing, what your passions are, what your hobbies are, what your work is, maybe about the country that you're visiting. But you're not talking about complicated stuff like politics, the economy, societal issues, or all these kind of different more advanced topics. And this enables you to get in a lot of practice for all kinds of topics that are used with a high frequency, right? And typically the content of the date don't differ totally from one date to another, right? You're always talking about kind of yourself, the other person, the place where you're at, again, like passions, hobbies, work, these kind of things. But this also helps your brain to just get a lot of practice for these topics that are used a lot of times, right, on a daily basis. And so let's say if you go on a date, or if you go to 2-3 dates per week, then you do that for, let's say, 1 month, you're gonna have so much speaking practice. And again, you're gonna be a lot more focused because you like the other person, that it's gonna help you a lot more than anything else. And yeah, I've done that with Spanish, I've done that with Portuguese, and it helped me tremendously. And I mean, you don't have to even kind of date actively, right? You can also just say like, hey, like I just want to get to know friends. I mean, you can use Bumble Friends. I think like on Tinder you can do something similar, and it's just great of being in these settings, right? And of course, if you have a partner, you can just communicate to the other person basically what your intention is, and just vibe with the person anyway. But I found for myself, being single, going on these dates, this was just like tremendous practice, right? For all the aforementioned reasons. And if I compare that to anything else I've done to work on my active speaking, nothing even comes close to these date scenarios, right? And yeah, if you think about it, you're gonna talk for 2-3 hours sitting in a bar in a coffee or whatever, and you're gonna realize, after 1 month, your language skills are gonna be a lot more polished. So yeah, hope that is helpful advice. I think it's a little bit out of the box. I haven't heard anyone else talk about this, so I wanted to share it with you. And yeah, hope it's valuable. Let me know in the comments what your take is on this, and then see you in the next video.